Alrighty, some hoops. NBA Live 19. NBA Live 19. I actually got both games during the, well, I've had NBA 2K for a little while. It's still in the wrapper, actually. I just brought it out of the wrapper. During the holidays, you're going to see a little icon pop up in a few minutes indicating it's installing its updates and all of that. I don't really get into hoops until around this time of year, around Christmas, really. So I haven't played much NBA 2K yet. NBA Live 19, it was in the PS Store for $10. That's as close to free as you're going to get. So I said, screw it, give it a shot, and see how it goes. There it is, the NBA 2K19 installed. And well, keep in mind that my impressions come from playing the game, a few months after release and after a billion updates. There's a ton of updates that needed to be installed for this game as well when I downloaded it. So my opinion of the game, if I played it on release date, would have been, well, certainly drastically different. But, when I look at this game as far as what I've played so far, I've been pleasantly surprised as far as what's going on the court. And really, when you look at NBA Live 18, I felt played a decent game of basketball. And I feel like this game plays a decent game of basketball on the court. The problem is, here's the problem with NBA Live. NBA Live 19, kind of like NBA Live 18, NBA Live is like an unseasoned steak. That's the best analogy I can come up with. It's like an unseasoned steak. It's edible. It'll keep you from going hungry, but it's got no sizzle. It's got nothing that makes you crave it and say, "Man, I'm really looking forward to tearing into this steak." It's got no steak sauce. It's got no salt. It's got no spice. There's nothing really to keep you savoring it, so to speak. The problem with the game, in my opinion, the problem with the game is not the basketball. I feel like the game does the same things that NBA Live 18 did very well. I really like this court spacing. I love the tempo. I like the ball tangibility. I like the body contact. I like if you spam the dribble controls or don't know how to use the dribble controls, you'll have a very frustrating time. You'll be smacking into bodies and picking up your dribble a lot. The plays run smoother. The freelance motion is a little bit more fleshed out. The animations transition better. The play calling wheel still stinks. I still hate it, but at least it functions better. I like if you go for badly timed steals, you either more than likely foul the ball handler, or the ball handler will, run right by you or blow right by you. The CPU double teams and rotations are really good. The closeouts are really good. Probably a smidge too fast on the rotations at times. But I'd rather have that than just have rotations that are slow or non-existent and leave wide open people all over the court. I feel like the game is pretty balanced as far as the mechanics between offense and defense is concerned. Now, I say that strictly from a user versus CPU experience. I don't play basketball games online, so I'm sure that there's buffoonery online and in the game, as there always is. I'm not into the one my player street ball thing either. So I'm just talking about just the on-court NBA experience. And that brings me to one of the biggest problems with the game. For whatever reason this year, the game decided not to market the NBA experience at all. Outside of the improvements that I just mentioned, the NBA side of the game is completely untouched otherwise. Franchise mode and non-existent. I mean, there is a franchise mode in the game, but there's nothing in that franchise mode to make you want to play it. There's just not a whole heck of a lot to do with the game. They put all of their marketing, all of their focus on the online, the one, my player, experience, which I think was a huge, huge mistake. Everything was geared toward that my player street ball experience, and it didn't need to be that way because the on-court game is really pretty dang good. I thought that was a horrible decision that they made, as far as that's concerned. That's one huge problem. with the game this year. If you're not into that stuff, there's not really a whole heck of a lot for you to do. While NBA 2K is just the opposite. You know, they have the NBA experience there, and they have everything else. In NBA 2K, it's impossible not to find something that you would want to do. You can play your street ball in the park. You can play your My Player journey. You can play Team Up Pro-Am. You can play My League, My GM. You can play online My Team. You can never touch the online portion of the game and have a deep experience. You can never touch the offline portion of the game and have a deep experience. There's literally a game mode that caters to every type of basketball gamer demographic and leave you, relatively satisfied. You're going to have your game flaws here and there, of course, but there's a mode for everyone to enjoy. And feel like they've gotten their money's worth, I feel, in the NBA 2K game. In NBA Live, you just have the one. That's really it. That's really it. The Live Ultimate Team content isn't even that great. And, when you go from that and then try to transition offline to franchise mode just to get your NBA fix and, control your favorite team and all that good stuff, there's just not a whole heck of a lot there to keep you engaged with that aspect of the product. So that's a huge failing with the game. A huge failing. And hopefully they learn their lesson with that mistake, and what I feel was a mistake in direction, focus, and marketing with the game. So that's number one. Number two, I feel like the game is a little bit too basic control-wise. That's nice in one way, in the fact that, it's easy to learn, and you very seldom get a surprise as far as what you're trying to do with your player. But I think the control layout needs to branch out a bit. The post game especially. The post game is basically drop step left, drop step right, post spin left, post spin right, hook shot, fadeaway jumper. You can do an up and under, and that's really pretty much it. You can face up and drive, of course, or face up and shoot, face up, step back, and all that good stuff. But I feel like I feel like we need more control as far as being able to branch in and out of more stuff and being able to trigger more animations. After basically one game, you've pretty much seen, all the post moves that you need to see or are able to use. Driving to the hoop, the same thing. Let's get away from the button press and give us more options to adjust our shooting with the analog stick contextually. You are able to do a floater with the analog stick as well as do spin jumpers and fadeaway jumpers and whatnot, step backs, and all that good stuff. But I feel like driving to the rim and how we want to finish around the rim, we could have more control at our disposal. Passing as well. Desperately need some manual type of pass leading in the game. You can do a lob pass, bounce pass, and all that good stuff, but you can't, an icon passing, of course, but you can't, manually lead someone open. And there are times when that really hurts you and causes you to turn the ball over because you're relying on, the contextual awareness of your teammate to receive the ball and your passer to make the right pass. I also don't think that players finish around the rim as aggressively as they used to. I see a lot of people who play the game, especially people that are not used to it. They post spin a little bit too far away and get that flip up animation. And even if you do, do that move or post spin to finish around the rim, you do still go up softer than you would like as well. So it's not always, the user's fault. I do think that they nerfed the finishing around the rim for whatever reason. I don't know why. There are a lot of times when I want to go up strong off of a post spin, a drop step, or a drive, or an offensive rebound. I just want to go back up strong, and I put up something weak, and I have no control over it. It's just the game, contextually deciding on what finish I'm going to get. Those are the kind of things that have to go away. We have to have more control over our finishing, our passing, and just more variety of options at our disposal when we're driving to the lane to, finish around bodies and in the post. While in general I like the approach NBA Live takes as far as user control with their dribbling, I really like how most of it is manual, analog driven. There's very little canned user dribbling. It's a little bit too much when you're talking about finishing around the basket. I mean, I don't want the control layout to change too drastically without basically mirroring the 2K game. I like the things that NBA Live has that makes it unique and distinct and different from the 2K game. But, there are some things that your competitor does that they do better than you in that regard as well. So copy it. Mix in what you do well. Again, I don't want that soft little flip up there. I want him to go up stronger than that, but I have no control over that. And he had the space to do it. That's a perfect example of what I mean. But like I was saying, build on what you do well as a game. There are some very good things that NBA Live does, and learn from your competition as far as what you can take from what they do and blend it into yours. I mean, I'm not someone who cares who copies what from whom or where an idea comes from, as long as it's a good idea and it works. That's all I really care about. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of good basketball here. I don't think what's going on the court gameplay-wise is NBA Live's biggest problem. I think it's everything else. You have a solid playing game of basketball, but there's nothing that keeps you from wanting to keep on playing it. While NBA 2K gives you a very good game of basketball, does things that NBA Live struggles with better when it comes to animation variety and shot control, for example, and gives you a boatload of depth on top of that. NBA Live is just not a deep game. And while I think NBA Live, at least initially, what happens with NBA Live, what has happened with NBA Live the previous couple of years is that it initially catches people's attention, but there's nothing there to keep their attention. And this is before NBA 2K ever releases anything. NBA Live will, get people's attention for a few weeks during the build-up cycle to the new games, maybe for a month. But then you're like, okay, where's the rest of it? Where's the rest of the game? And then when the 2K cycle comes up, it's pretty much over. So, the game has to develop depth, and it has to reach the core NBA gaming fan. The ancillary stuff is just that. It's, icing on the cake. It's gravy on the rice. But you need to focus on, embrace, and develop the NBA side of the game. That, I feel, was the fatal flaw of NBA Live 19. So that's pretty much all I have to say game thought-wise. As we're through 3 quarters here, I'll let the 4th quarter play out and, love to hear what you guys think, and I will talk to you all later. Oh, one more thing. The commentary team stinks. The commentary is awful. I don't know what happened. I don't know why they don't have Mark Jackson, Brini, and Van Gundy anymore, but this duo is not very good at all. It's bad. It's bad. Jalen still does his thing. The halftime show is still very nice. Jalen can do some new lines here and there. That's still pretty much well done. But the commentary is not a strong suit. Let's put it that way. So there. Now I'm done. Hope you guys enjoy. Talk to you all later. Peace.
For his career, 78% to Aaron Gordon. Here comes the screen. That's what you like to see off the pick and roll. Nice, easy basket.
With a consistent passion for the game, we could see a different player.
Beyond the arc for 3. Rebound pulled in by Gordon. Isaac to Vucevic. Goes to the left side. Fournier. Evan Fournier. He struck to Gordon. Here comes the screen. Aaron Gordon stuffs it down.
I see the easy dunk, but what I don't see is energy. Scream, do something. Get yourself emotionally
Shot clock
involved.
for Phoenix. Oubre to Booker. Lets it fly from long range, and he can't get it to go down. It's no good. Nice. The Suns with 4 to shoot.
He sent that one to the third row.
He was locked in. That was impressive. The Magic secure the victory as they take care of business at home. For Jay Williams and all our crew, I'm Ed Cohen saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Here we go with the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Magic added a win with today's solid victory. You ask me, and I'll tell you, it was the ball movement that made all the difference. There's something to be said for a team that can win as a group, and that's what happened here today. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Orlando Magic. The Suns put up a fight, but didn't get their hands raised at the end. I'm sure they can't help but feel frustrated with the result, but they can't let that feeling linger. Sooner than later, they need to start thinking about the next matchup.
Game track. Three-point shooting.
The Orlando Magic were definitely the better team with regard to long-range shooting, and it turned out to be quite the advantage. Their three-pointers were unstoppable.
Player of the game.
Aaron Gordon seemed to think he could only score points with dunks in this game. Again and again, he kept throwing them down, and it was just astonishing.
Who was cold?
This isn't the segment you want to be in, of course, but even the best players find their way into this part of the show. Here are the top 3 plays from the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
On behalf of Ed Cohen and Jay Williams, this is Jalen Rose signing off.